Hey y'all. I know it's been a little bit and it's a little late today, but I had to take a little bit of a break from doing the daily. I took a fall break, I guess is what I can say it was, but I just needed to refocus and reshift and get my thoughts back together because it's difficult some days to come on when I'm feeling things that have been said or feeling things that I overthink or whatever. So I did take a break, and I want to apologize to you guys because that wasn't my intention, but it's just what I needed to do. And last night in our women's group meeting, and if you ladies don't come to that, I encourage you to. We have a lot of fun. Sometimes I put them on the spot, and I did last night, and they kind of grumble at me, but I know that they forgive me when I do that. But we've really been having some good discussions. Last week we talked about trust, and last night we talked about serving others, and what that entails, and how we do that, and all of that. And we just had a good interaction. Got to laugh and learn more about each other, but learn more about the Lord as well. And it's just a lot of fun. So I encourage you ladies, we meet at 6 o'clock on Sunday evenings or 10:30 on Wednesday mornings. So we have two chances to do that, and I hope that you would come out and join us. It is a lot of fun. When we talk about serving, there's so many aspects of service, so many aspects of it. In Matthew 25:35 through 40, it says, "For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." A lot of times that's called entertaining angels. We don't know when we help somebody. And when we do it without thought, without provocation, when we just do it, we don't know who we're actually entertaining. A lot of times I think about helping people, and then I think, oh, do I really? Because we want to judge people a lot of times. We talked about that a little bit last night. We want to judge the outside of people. We want to judge what they look like. We want to judge if they have lots of tattoos, or if they have this, or if they have that. We want to judge that on whether we should help them or not. When in reality, the Lord, when Jesus served, he served everybody. He wasn't particular about that. The woman at the well, he served her. Even though he asked her to get him a drink, he served her by sharing the gospel and by giving her something that she could never repay. And so he always served. We read his story, we read the history of him and him touching people and healing people and all of that. But I see Jesus as a person that no matter where he went, he looked to see who he could serve. He looked and he searched and he served those people well. In Romans 12:10, it says, "Be devoted to one another. Honor one another above yourselves." A lot of times, I've heard it working in the corporate world, that's not my job. It's not my job. And I have a hard time with that. Because if you see something that needs to be done and you think, that's not my job, I'm not supposed to do that. The toilets need to be cleaned, that's not my job, I'm not supposed to do that. If you see a need and you know you can feel it and you don't feel it, I feel like you're letting your pride get in the way. And we shouldn't be prideful. We should not be prideful in the things that we do. And when God asks us to serve, we talked about it last night, a lot of times God is going to ask you to go serve that person that hurt you, to teach you humility and to teach you obedience, because serving the person that's hurt you is sometimes the hardest thing we'll ever have to do, but we still need to be willing to serve. In 1 Peter 4:10 through 11. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others. As faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms, do not be slothful in zeal, be fervent in spirit, and serve the Lord. And I put them on the spot last night. They grumbled at me a little bit because I said, what's your gift? What is your gift? You've been given a gift. What is your gift? And they all went around and we all talked about it, and I tried to skip over myself, and they didn't let me do that. They held me accountable. And sometimes it's hard to think about what our gift is. I know my gift is of administration. I can organize. I like to do those kind of things, but I also like to give gifts. I like to give gifts when nobody's thinking about it, or when they're not expecting it. I like to give gifts. I like to see somebody's reaction to just being honored because of the person that they are, not because it's their birthday, not because it's their anniversary, not because it's boss's day or secretary's day or all the made up holidays that we have, but just to honor somebody because of who they are and the love that you have for them. Sometimes that's hard. We talked about foot washing last night as an act of service, and I had never participated in foot washing before. I raised my kids in a Baptist church. They didn't do foot washing, and I'd never done it before. But we did a ladies' retreat up at Linda and David Frick's lake house, and we did foot washing. And I cried all the way through it because it was such a moving experience to me to honor somebody like that. Because I personally, feet bother me. I don't like people touching me with their feet. I don't like to touch people's feet. Their feet are just, and unfortunately I pass that on to my girls because they're both the same way. Don't touch feet, just are things. But when I did that foot washing service, something changed in me. And I was just in awe of how Jesus washed the feet of all of his disciples. Even the disciple that he knew betrayed him. He washed his feet. That's a humbling thing to think about. And I'm thankful for that opportunity that I've had. That's the only time I've ever done foot washing, and I think it's something that needs to happen more often. If you have an issue with somebody, maybe you should go ask if you wash their feet. Just saying, maybe that's what we need to do. Instead of hurling stones. And I've seen a shirt that says, "Can't throw stones when you're busy washing feet." That's so true. You can't throw those stones when you're busy washing feet. But we need to serve one another in love. We need to serve one another. And sometimes that service is just a hug, or just a, hey, you're doing a great job. Or it may be preparing a meal for them, or it may be going and do their grocery shopping because they can't. Or, all of those are acts of service. But also just praying for somebody. When the Lord lays somebody on your heart, he's asking you to pray for them. Whether you reach out, you talk to them, whatever it may be, but most of all, pray for them. He puts people on our hearts for a reason. And sometimes we are in such a noisy world, is what I say, because there's so many things coming in, and from so many different places. We have the news, we have the internet, we have our phones, we have our iPads, we have this, we have that, we have, and we're just so busy with noise that we drown out the voice of God. I shared on my Facebook page the other day, I have 2 rose bushes that I planted by my carport. They have bloomed all summer long. They did when it rained, I thought, oh, that rain killed them. But then after the rain and after they got dried back out, they have bloomed since then. And they are the most beautiful, perfect little white roses. They're not very big. And when they're fully bloomed, they're not very fragrant. But when they begin to bloom, they're very fragrant. And I walk around that way because I walk Stella in the morning. I walk around that way every morning, and I'm just in awe of their beauty, but I'm also in awe of how God spoke to me in that moment, because I stood there and I looked at the roses and I looked at all of them, and I was just like, because I had some buds and I had some that had fully bloomed, some that were kind of bloomed. And I thank the Lord for that. Thank you for giving me this beauty this in the mornings, that I get to see that first thing. And I was like, they're just, they're just perfect little blooms. And I walked around my house and was walking into the garage. And when I walked into the garage, I heard a still small voice that said, "That's how I see you. Perfectly blooming where I've planted you." And I broke in my garage. I was crying and I was like, thank you, Lord, for that word this morning. Thank you for giving me that this morning, because a lot of times we get so busy we don't hear him. And I was thankful for that moment. I went back out and took pictures of it, because I just wanted, I want that memory. I want to keep that in my memory, that even in the smallest things, the things that other people may see as trivial, he spoke to me, and I was just so thankful for that. So that's my little bit today. A little emotional still. Like I said, I had to take a break. I had to refocus. I had to get focused right back on Jesus, because I had kind of taken my focus off of him and on a problem, and he corrected me in that, and I'm so thankful for that. So I hope you all have a great day, rest of your day. Tomorrow, men, don't forget that you will be meeting at 7 o'clock, and then Wednesday, the 25th, we're having our fall festival, and it looks like it's going to rain, so we're not going to be able to have a bounce house, and we're not going to be able to have a hayride, but we have plenty of games, and we're going to have them inside the multipurpose building. We're still going to do hot dogs, still going to do all of that. So bring your kids. It starts at 6, and we're going to go from 6 to 8. And we're going to have a good time anyways, in spite of the rain. We do need the rain. We are very dry, but I wished it would have waited a couple more days. But you know what? It is what it is. We're going to enjoy. And so I encourage you to come out and bring your kids at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. I want to thank our social media sponsors: Dawn and Sheila Ferris, Howard and Janice Clark, Leonard and Debbie Spencer, Gordon and Dee Kennard, Genesis Home Health, Turnbow Trailers, Parco Tax and Services, My Travel Misha, Stacy Reese, the Watkins family, Travis Holloway, and Ted and Alicia Crocker. Thank you all so much for making this possible, and for allowing us to be able to get on live every day, and Facebook Live every Sunday. For those of y'all that missed yesterday's chili cook-off, we had 6 entrants. It was great. We had a great turnout. The praise team raised about $2,400, and it was just amazing. The concert that they put on was fantastic, and it was just a great day. So our praise team is considering the reason they're raising money is to buy another system so they can travel and go to other churches and put on, perform for other churches and stuff. And they did sing they sang their original song, which is absolutely an amazing song. And I'm really proud of our praise team. They are an amazing group of people, and they did an amazing job yesterday putting the chili cook-off together and the dinner they served. And it was so amazing. And I'm just so happy for them and so proud of them for all that they're doing. And that they're writing their own music and performing, and it's really fun to see them. So if you miss them, you can come see them Sunday, because they'll be on stage again Sunday. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Looks like the rain's going to move in tonight and continue all day tomorrow, all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday. It's kind of what it's looking like, but we need the rain. So have a great evening. I hope to see y'all back here tomorrow.